My name's Dave Cox. I'm the studio head and producer of the Castlevania Lords of Shadow series.
Help me, and I can free you of your immortality.
So the story of Castlevania Lords of Shadow is basically telling Dracula's story. We set out in the first game to tell the story of how Gabriel Belmont became Dracula, and in this story it goes into a much darker place, but is a fitting conclusion to Dracula's tale. I think the biggest improvement really is their exploration side of the game. We've had a much bigger emphasis on exploration. The first game was very much a linear experience, and with a fixed camera, it wasn't really friendly for exploration. This time we've got a much more open world environment and a free camera system, so the player can look around the environment, can go backtrack, visit previous areas they've already been to. So I'll say that's the biggest change. Coupled with that, we've improved the combat system, made it much more in depth, much more strategic, and we've added 2 new weapons, the Void Sword and the Chaos Claws, and we've also added the Mastery system, which is a system that makes players use their abilities properly. One of the key weaknesses of hack and slash games is, they hammer the square button or they stick to 1 or 2 combos that they really like. With our system, what we've tried to do is to create an environment where they have to use all their abilities in order for them to become more powerful. Yeah, there's more. You spend more time in the modern city in the full game, but it's a constant going back and forth between the castle and the modern city, and the modern city has lots of variety in terms of the stages and the areas within the city. We showed you in the preview, up top, the areas that I'd already explored, and once I got the mist ability, that allowed me to go to a whole new place, a whole new area. So I'd say you spend about 60% in the modern city and about 40% in the castle. But we've tried to keep the variety in the stages that we had in the first game, so every area of the castle is different, and every area in the modern city is different as well. I think in every respect, the game is a bigger game overall. It's more epic, it's more ambitious, it's a much more denser game than the first game. Boss-wise, when you fight the Titan at the beginning of the game, there's a lot more freedom for the player. You're fighting on the Titan. You're having a guy who's firing arrows at you at the same time. You have to sort of go through these wheels and cogs, and it's much more interactive than the previous game. And we have more of those big boss fights as you progress through the game. But we've also got lots of challenging, what I would call mid-level boss fights. As you fought the Gorgon, you fought Medusa. We have the Acolytes. So yeah, there's a big variety of bosses. I think that's something that the Lords of Shadow series is famous for. Lots of boss encounters, and it's something we want to continue with this game. So you're definitely going to see some really cool bosses. Well, the plan is that we will finish the Lords of Shadow series and move on to something else. So Mercury Steam and us as a company, we're working together on a new project. What happens with Castlevania next it's hard to say. It's not for us to say in many ways. We feel like we had the torch passed to us, and now we're passing the torch on. So what happens next really is up to the senior management at Konami. Well, I hope so, yes. I would imagine we would. It's a series that's been around for sort of 26 years, and at this point, when we leave it, it will be at its probably most successful iteration. So I guess whatever comes next will certainly be up to those creators to decide whether they continue in the Lords of Shadow universe or whether they go back to the previous universe. He wasn't, no. His role in the first one was really a support role. He gave us advice, and he very much helped us with the Japanese version of the game. But it was Mercury Steam's game, and he felt that we did a great job, and he felt that we were ready to stand on our own 2 feet for the second one. So the second one he's not been involved in at all. We decided not to go to next gen for a couple of reasons. The first was we did talk about it, obviously, about 8 months ago. We did speak about whether we should bring this PS4 and Xbox One, but we'd got so far down the line in terms of development, it would have meant taking a few steps back, and it would have meant a delay to the game. We didn't really want to do that, as we'd already delayed the game a little bit already. So we decided not to go to next gen, and The reason for that also is because the first game was on current gen consoles, and we wanted the series to to be a complete series for current gen customers. So that's why we've kept it on current gen. But the PC version, that's probably the closest you're going to get to a next gen version, I think.